Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp, along with my good friend Bill Pondak. To my left, below him, his teammate at Syracuse University on the defensive line here in the four-wheel drive Blaze winner. Half of the four-wheel drive, of course, Timmy Green and Jamie Kimmel make up the whole four wheels of that drive. It's right below me, a good friend of ours, Todd Richardson. T-Rich, what's up, brother?
What's going on? Roll Tide.
Todd is a
I know you're getting ready to say, Bill, I know you're getting ready to say something.
That's the wrong show. Wrong show.
High Tide.
Yeah, we're in the Tide show. That's right. T-Rich, we're gonna tell your story here in a second, but I wanted to welcome everybody to Coach's Corner. Here on Coach's Corner, man, we try to inspire and educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act and do something. Okay, I want to everybody, T-Rich is an amazing story. So today's subject on four-wheel drive is actually assistant coaches. We're going to talk about what makes a great assistant coach, what are the characteristics of a bad assistant coach, and who is an assistant coach that was on your side, a champion in your corner that made you all successful and play major college football, and most of us played in the pros. So T-Rich, you went to Liverpool High School. You're a couple of years behind Billy and I. I think you were the class of 81, 82 there at George. Went up to Syracuse. You became a star, you and Henry and those guys had undefeated team, I think your junior year. Talk about your Liverpool High School Warrior days and how you got to Alabama.
Okay. How I even got to Liverpool, you and I had that conversation before. Remember how they had Cicero and North Syracuse? And at that one point, both high schools combined. And what happened was they got rid of sports altogether for that one season. That was my opportunity, as well as there were like maybe four of us that came over from Cicero to Liverpool before it became CNS. And we came over there. It was either there or CBA, Bishop Ludden or Bishop Grimes. Well, we were the type of guys I think we probably would have got thrown out within the first month. So Liverpool was it, and like you said, George was the coach at the time, and we just added depth to Liverpool, which already had depth, and that's pretty much how I got to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, talk about your years there. In your what was it? You guys were undefeated, I guess, even after we went undefeated in '79. Talk about how you got to Alabama, why you picked Alabama from upstate New York.
I played that last year of Tim Green's senior year. So I came in, there was only two sophomores on the team, me and Chris Jones. And so I missed the Golden Valley my first year. Mm-hmm. The next two seasons, we did the Golden Valley thing. And my senior year, we wound up teaming up with Union, New Jersey was down there. Bad mistake for them with Liverpool guys. You know how that is. You and Billy know. It was either going to be a fight or we were going to have a scrimmage. So they decided we'll have the scrimmage. They were better off trying to fight us. We blew them out. But a big part of me with the recruiting was I was a two-sport athlete with track and field and with football. And I, by chance, had a chance of meeting Joe Riccardi, who was an Alabama alumni. And I wasted visits, like 3 visits to Penn State. I went to their camps. I went to Oregon State, and I signed a letter of intent with Oregon State. And
really?
by the time believe it or not, I signed with Oregon State.
Wow.
Way out there. So on the way back, I'm sitting there. My mother asked me, she said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I can't see myself going out there. I don't know why we did this." She said, "Well, what options you got?" I said, "Well, we got options. I really, let's play this out." And she's like, "No, you're getting out my house now." So, like I said, I came back. There you go. So I came back and explained the trip to Joe Riccardi. Joe sent some tape down to Alabama. Next thing you know, the ball got rolling. I took an unofficial visit to Alabama. They saw me in person, and they were like, "Oh boy, he's not like he looks on tape. He's 140 pounds." But I worked out down there. I ran and played basketball. We couldn't do an official workout because, you know, it was outside of recruiting, so it was an unofficial visit. But they
Right.
did see me athletically. And the next thing you know, they were like, listen, come on down. Do what you got to do. I got out of the scholarship with Oregon State and made my way to Alabama, and Joe put me on the map with that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was it? Let me find out here. What was it that Oregon State had that interests you so much to approve that journey way out west from, you know, Liverpool? I mean,
sorry to cut you off, Blaze. They were the only school that was going to let me do track and field.
Gotcha.
They're the only ones that were going to let me do track and
I
field.
understand. Yep.
And I forgot who the offensive coordinator was, but who recruited me at Penn State, he took a job at Oregon State. And I had a good relationship with him. I forgot his name, but so I took
what was your event in track and field?
Believe it or not, it was the 400 meters. That was my main event. Was the 400 meters.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's a brutal event. So you got
it's a speed and thinking man's race.
Thank God for Joe Riccardi, man, huh? If it wasn't for him, neither one of us would have played at Alabama. Man.
When I played for Green Bay, we had to do 400s with a 2-minute break under our best time. I mean, it was like we were linemen, man.
I know the one you're talking about. They did after Tripp left. That's what our test was going into the season at Bama.
Oh, it was.
Todd,
Todd,
I switched hats in your honor.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, Billy. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Todd,
hey, go ahead.
You remember that? What is that? That's the Beaver.
It's a beaver.
Oregon State Beavers.
That's also what I couldn't understand as well there either.
Hey, the tide is high, man, and it just drowns out all the beavers. They can't.
I mean, and if you think about it, at that time they haven't won any games. They were never on national television. And one of my dreams was to hear Keith Jackson. I don't know about you guys. One of my dreams was to hear Keith Jackson say your name.
Yes. Tell it, Todd, man. I had the same dream. Hey, I had the same dream about Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah.
You know how he did did the Notre Dame games on Sunday replays.
Yeah.
And man, I love Lindsey Nelson. And my dream came true against Boston College when Lindsey Nelson did the CBS game. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Wow.
Right.
So you got to Alabama and you walked on, and tell me about Perkins, Coach Perk, and what he said to you walking out the field one time.
I was watching the show the other day, and what's his name? Brad was
Bradford, Coach Bradford.
He did have the personality of a door, but he was a guy that didn't mix words with you. He didn't like you. He didn't like you. If he said he was going to run you off, the best bet for you to do was to leave at 3 or 4 in the morning, which I've never seen players do before until I got to Alabama. I never seen people quit like the way they quit. But Perk was, he talked to you. He was relatable, and he would challenge you.
Yeah.
But he wanted to know what you were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would challenge you, and it wouldn't just stop there like he's gonna back down. He would do things and put you in situations. And it took me a while to realize, like, Tripp, man, what's this guy talking about? What's he no, just leave him alone, T Rich. Just let him do his thing. You know what I mean? You be you, you keep practicing, you're gonna be all right.
Yep. And you did, man. You did. Great story, Todd, man. Walking on.
Thank you.
Get a scholarship,
Todd,
man.
you walked into Alabama 140 pounds. $140.
I walked in $140.
No way.
I walked in $140, and RIP to Oscar Jensen. One of the advantages I had was I was already in a weight program. So when the weight room and training table came, I wasn't new to it. I was true to it. and I
Yeah.
stuck by it. Coach Miller didn't scare me when I was at Alabama because we had already been through some of the stuff that that we went through with Oscar
Yeah.
Well,
Jensen.
what was your 40?
In high school?
Yeah, coming into Alabama, what was your 40?
Oh, at
I mean,
Bama, I was running 4.3. At Bama, I was running 4.3. I came out of high school like at 4.4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boy can
Billy,
fly,
we
man.
can't even dream that fast. We don't even dream that fast.
Yeah. I didn't. My senior year, they have, you know how they had the Junior Olympics. I was going to go do that. I didn't know anything about that. All I wanted to do was play football.
Cool.
If it took away from football, once I got to that point, I didn't want to be bothered with it.
Right.
I didn't want to be bothered with
Right.
There's
it.
a real athlete right there, man.
And when you were talking the other day about George taking his weights back, now I know why we had new weights at Liverpool. Now I know why. Because
Billy took him for George.
You took him for George. Yes.
Billy,
Now
where
I
are
remember.
they?
Yeah. And
Hey.
Blaze, I walked into an atmosphere over at Liverpool, and it helped me at Alabama. The athletes that you talk to that come out of Liverpool, they didn't take no mess on the field.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams didn't want to play them in a physical game. That's why Paul's and some of their scores were. I came in, I never played defense. I only played offense the whole time I was at Liverpool. So to go to a program in high school where you have an offense, defense, and a special team, to me, that's extraordinary. You don't think of that as when you're a kid.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is
You don't think of that when you're a kid. And Billy, Paul, and a lot of those guys never got their due credit on what they established and the culture they had there. And it's a shame that it's gone to waste because the resources there are very valuable.
Thanks,
but those
T.
guys, Blaze, those guys really laid a foundation, like I said, that was tough. You weren't going to get an easy victory, and don't try to get too physical. You're going to lose that fight.
Yes,
too.
I do.
Yeah.
Well,
you're right. That's a good point, T. Rich. That I wouldn't have never made it at Alabama and Al Miller and Coach Bryant if it wasn't for Liverpool's my experience at Liverpool under George. There's no way. There's no way.
We were light years ahead of a lot of kids. Light years ahead. My only thing was I didn't know how to watch film.
Right. Yeah, we had to learn.
For you guys, the journey continued. For me, the nightmare just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 more years.
Hey, Billy.
I told
my coaches. All of my coaches weren't so were a lot like George, man. They weren't lovey-dovey. There was no pat on the back.
He was night and day from what I understand from O'Leary, and he was one of the coaches that he took us. One of the reasons Penn State came up was he took me to camp there. He took us to camp there. He took about 5 of us to camp there. And we displayed and we competed with a lot of those kids they had out of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Florida. They had a ton of Florida kids up there.
Yeah.
And
see where you sit.
Yeah.
To be able to see where you sit, go outside of your comfort zone.
Yep.
And go down and compete with really tough dudes.
Yep.
You know the thing is, guys, when you talk about how the weight program molded all of us, that we were very fortunate to have guys that were ahead of their time. You talk about Jensen, and you remember George and Oscar didn't get along.
They did not.
George was smart enough to know that Oscar knew about the weights. He knew about the power and the strength. So
I was there for a good argument they had one time. I walked in before they changed the weight room. You remember you used to come in from the tennis courts, or you could come through the lobby of where the gym was, right?
Yeah.
And I hear these guys going at it. I'm like, man, we got there early to lift weights because that's what we did, and then we went to 7-on-7. And Oscar was just telling them, if you just let me do what I know, you do what you know. They'll figure it out.
There was. I don't know if you guys remember Paulie. I threw it out. He hated me throwing the shot and disc, but he knew that I had to do that because Oscar was doing the strength. So one day I was out there and he put up that new scoreboard on the field. And I remember I remember the disc held on my hand just a little bit too long, and I broke about 10 of the balls on the scoreboard. I hit the scoreboard with the disc.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
I said, if I had a car, I'd drive it out here, but I never had a vehicle. So
Yeah.
I had to face it.
Hey, see, I came from the opposite, man. We had a square universal set of weights. The cables were always busted. So, we had one of those, let's do 30 sit-ups, 20 push-ups, and run around the field, carrying one another, and, the body mechanical workout, using bodies.
Right.
And that was it, man. I mean, that's why you saw me come in at 205, 10 pounds in college. We had none of that. That's why when I got with Mike Wolsick, one of the greatest strength coaches, assistant coaches of all times, just blew up. I blew up and became a little bit like Billy. I mean, it's like, wow.
All right.
What a difference.
Well, wait a minute. Let me. Coach Olsick is. I think him and Al Miller are both on the freaking Mount Rushmore of strength and conditioning coaches in this country. Okay, let me repeat that. Those two were the two best on the planet, and we happen to have them as our strength coaches. Man, they're in the Hall of Fame. Those guys are in the Strength and Conditioning Hall of Fame.
Amazing.
As is Kent Johnston, another one of our strength coaches at Bama, and you might have had Kent at Green Bay too. I don't know if you know Kent Johnston. I mean, those guys.
He was up at Green Bay.
Yeah. He was unbelievable. All right, so today's subject is assistant coaches. Okay, and we're going to talk about what good ones and what bad ones were. Okay, and I want to mention Coach Bryant. When he hired assistant coaches, he wanted somebody smarter than him. He hated yes men. He didn't like, you couldn't talk unless you were talked to, but, he wanted somebody that he could learn from. And that's what Saban did. Saban picked up, his Alabama Tuscaloosa was like coaching rehab 101. I mean, he had Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, just two of those guys. And I could go on, Marone and all the, Coach O'Leary's other buddy was with Saban as well. But they wanted to learn, and I think that's what Saban did. He wanted to learn from those other head coaches and help them, restore their image, and he did a pretty good job. But talk about yes men. I know Coach Bryant wanted, Coach Bryant had a whole coaching tree of guys that went on to be head coaches. But head coaches, you were a head coach in college for George. You were the only one, Blaze, out of us four. The pressure is high and the days are long and the pay was short.
I mean, learning to be an assistant under a man like George O'Leary is it is very difficult because of the expectation. As he would say on the phone, you're capable of doing this, but on the other side of it, to listen to other assistants that came from his team of coaches, they reminded me that you don't know anything about coaching. And my response would be, well, I know how to play football. I know football. And they would point out, no, it's not coaching. Coach is not playing. Coach is a whole nother construct. It's another whole block. And he's going to ride you. And he's going to try to break you. And that was his job. And he made me a better coach when I stepped back after I walked away from there and went out to coach at smaller schools up north. I realized I was a much better coach because he made me understand that world is different than the playing world. And a lot of times the players think, after I'm done playing, I'm going to coach, have a little fun. A little fun? Are you kidding me?
No.
Maybe in high school. Maybe as a high school coach. See, I had a ton of fun as a high school coach because I was only working 20 hours a week on my assistant high school coaching job. I when Blaze talks about that, I still remember the day, Blaze, you called me on the phone when we talked about it, and I said to you,
3 words. I said, "Don't do it."
Hey, listen. I was told by Billy. I was told by Panicos. I was told by other coaches in the NFL. I was told by, hey, there are better people to take your first job. There are better people. No, he's the best. You don't understand. And then I would say, well, I worked with him at GT at Georgia Tech. I would go down and he would invite me to teach some, the martial arts. And, are you with him morning, noon, and night? And I said, no, I'm just, I work with the guys and then I go to the hotel. And they would remind me, are you kidding me? And that's you're just a friend at the time that you're a loyal man. And he is.
Listen to me. Hey, Blaze. Hey, guys. I thank George to this day for 2 no's that he told me. Okay. I didn't appreciate it at the time. Especially both of them were hurtful and hard. But today, I thank him for telling me no. One was taking me up to Syracuse on scholarship. He said no, and I'm thankful for that. The other one was I called him when I got into coaching and said, Coach, I'd like to come coach with you. And he said no, and I'm thankful for that. Yes, I am thankful I didn't do that. Because I would have lost my mind, man. I would have just.
I was sitting. This story is so clear. I was sitting on the bed, and he had asked me before in Vegas about to do a speech to a bunch of coaches, clinic work. And I was sitting on this bed in Vegas about to go downstairs and do my job when O'Leary calls and said, "This is the last time I asked you." And I said, what's going on? He says, there's a D-line coaching job open. You want it? And I said, well, how much time do I have? And he says, you have 30 minutes. I said, what? I mean, I need to, convene with your wife, my wife and such. No, you don't. No, you need to make a decision now because I have a lot of people that want the job. And if that's true or not true, the bottom line is, that's how he approached it because the most important thing to him was what? We need to be prepared. We need to win.
Yep.
There's nothing more important. And I heard that from my day I arrived in college in Syracuse.
If I could say one word that describes Coach O'Leary, and that's winning. It did nothing mattered but winning.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep. All right, Todd. Talk about an assistant coach, maybe somebody who was, like my Angie says, a champion in your corner, somebody who looked out after you, believed in you, and, maybe gave you encouragement and affirmation when you needed it most. Who was an assistant coach? And we're going to go right around the horn. Who was the assistant coach? Maybe one, just name 1 or 2.
I'm going to go with Rocky Felker. He was when I came in as a receiver, Rocky Felker, and I got to go with Tommy Bowden.
Okay.
I didn't when they moved me to defense, I wasn't there long enough. I don't think to bond with any of the coaches, but to get that insight where the coaches got to know me. Those were the 2 influences that I say that really, there's others, but they really took time and figured out what made me tick and how to get me to learn.
Yeah. Billy, who was your assistant coach that? George was like the only coach you had. But did you have a weight room coach that you really liked or somebody?
I mean, I could name a bunch of them that helped me a ton. I mean, starting with George. I mean, it's obvious. I had him 7 years. So it was. I mean, he molded everything that I did as far as. I would be nuts if I didn't mention Mike Wojcik, my strength coach at Syracuse. It was just the guy was just phenomenal at writing programs. He got me to bench 500, squat 700. And he brought. I was prepared when I went to Dallas, and I was battling with the defensive line guys and stuff, but you talk about Oscar Jensen. Oscar giving me the start and what went on, but there's numerous assistants that I've had as far as, at Dallas. Ernie Stautner was the all-pro there for I don't know how many years, was our defensive line coach, was phenomenal working with a bunch of us down there.
Blazer, who's you? A couple of assistant coaches that pushed you to your NFL 12-year NFL career.
Yeah, the ones that pop out to me are my first D-line coach, Gunther Cunningham. Gunther Cunningham was a guy who provoked and pursued excellence through becoming better at what you do by using things outside the game. He's the one who embraced the fact that I need you in martial arts. I need you to learn the complexity of fighting. This is not, you're not going to win a push and pull match with your fellow brother across the line from you. You need to understand the complexity of this game, and you better learn about what you see, how far is it from you, and what time you should hit it. And those three things are roots of martial arts, which I mastered 5 disciplines in 40 years and became a master at it because of people like Gunther Cunningham. The other guy, Great Blosh. Great Blosh was my D-line coach at Green Bay, the Packers. And he came up to me and simply reminded me, why do you play this game? Well, it's my life. No, why do you play this game? Because you're not playing it well, and there's a reason. Because I saw the film from their first year, and you played it very well. What is the difference? Why are you not playing this game well? And I said, I don't know what you're looking for. All I need is a shot. And he said to me, you're not playing with joy anymore, man. I never see you smile. Even when you knock somebody down, you're here out of desperation. And he said, hey, man, if you don't understand desire and desperation and the fine line that divides those two words, you'll never, recover from your loss. And I went on to play another 7 years because of Great Blosh, pointing out that, man, you are desperate.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell all the listeners, man, kids
right
too,
there.
if you are desperate, you are going to destroy yourself. You got to let it come to you, and you got to maintain the fuel. The fuel is joy. I love doing the show. I do it well because I love it. If I hated it, I would find a way out of it. And I didn't hate football. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I just had to learn to put it back in order.
Todd,
that's great. That's great advice.
That son of a bitch is deep, isn't he?
I'm ready. Hey, Billy, I'm ready to start carrying this truck and the trailer.
Jesus Christ, how blessed am I to play with that son of a bitch?
Oh my gosh,
I could just inside my head, I could just see you now looking at Blake when he's talking to you.
Hey, you hear the show, man. I love these people. I love him more than anything. He's my best friend, and we barely see each other like we would like to.
It don't matter.
And, there's something about the power of a positive relationship.
Billy, you had to endure Blazer's philosophy and Timmy Green's intellect as well, man. You got it from two sides, man. Holy mackerel!
That's why you don't listen to anything.
The only thing I never listened to him about is, well, I better not say it on the air.
No, let's not get into that stuff.
No, I'd rather not. Actually. Right. You were a master of certain things.
Hey, I had a couple. Hey, man, after my adventure to Alabama, I had to have a couple guys in my corner. Not all the coaches were, but there was so many. We're talking assistant coaches, so I'm not going to bring up O'Leary or Coach Bryant, but yeah, I have a couple, and matter of fact, 2 of them are my strength coaches, Al Miller and Kent Johnston. Kent Johnston was actually an assistant DB coach. And I had Lewis Campbell on my show a few weeks ago. I didn't always get along with Coach Campbell. So he wasn't my favorite person, but he taught me everything there was about football on the field. Off the field, I relied on Kent Johnston okay, and Murray Legg, two guys. Murray Legg was a great DB at Alabama, and he was assistant there for a couple of years. And he always kept my spirits up when I got my ass pounded on the scout team for 2 years. He kept me going. So there's always champions in everybody's corner. We can't make it without it. We can't do it alone. So this is a tribute to all the great assistant coaches out there. Okay. You can make a difference, and you really don't realize what kind of impact, positive impact you have on these kids until years later. So, T. Rich, our hearts go out to Anthony Smiley's family, our member of our team, our teammate at Bama passed away this week. So Smiles was a beautiful soul, man, hardworking, tough guy. I remember him. I remember him in a play that I'll never forget as long as I live. It was the Ice Bowl at BC against Flutie in Foxborough in 1983. It was that cold game that even Cornelius Bennett said was the coldest game he ever played in, and he played 12 years in Buffalo. I blocked the punt, and Anthony Smiley scooped it up and scored, man. And I'll never forget that. I think it was like our only touchdown of the game. I don't know, man. It was so brutally cold. But hey, hearts go out to Anthony. He's a beautiful guy, and we're gonna miss him. T. Rich.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hey, great show, guys. Thanks for being on, man.
Yeah. Before we go, hey, Bill, I got another assistant coach in my life now. Your cousin, he got me into that hunting, man, and I turned in return, I turned him into a Bama fan.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Hey, there's hunting. You know, I won't go into any sour story because it was like a really bad story. But everybody hunted and fished down in Alabama. Everybody. Everyone was gone. You know, that's when
You hear that, Billy? You hear that?
Todd, you're. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were got into hunting. Bobby got you in, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
He talks about you all the time too. We both talk about you.
He better. I'm his hero. Hey, Todd, how's your son doing?
Oh, he's doing great. He's out in Texas right now. He's working a construction site and still doing the Army Reserves.
Good.
Yep.
Hey, T. Rich, enjoy your visit with your daughter, man, coming up here.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Hey, Blaze, it's always a pleasure. You breaking up the monotony on four-wheel drive. So
yeah, I know, right? He's the philosopher. We're you know, Billy and I are the hardcore
keep
grinder.
Working on it. Make them wax on, wax off.
Hey, be safe, baby. Be safe out there, right on the road.
Will do, gentlemen.
All right, man. Hey, Todd, send me your contact info.
Got you, Billy.
All right.
See you guys.
All right.
Love all you guys,
Good
man.
job,
See ya.
Billy. Good job, baby.
Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks
You
for
guys
watching the show, everybody. Thanks for watching the show, man. Those guys are great. Four-wheel drive. It's good to have Todd Richardson on the show. Stay tuned for these sponsors. Without these great advertisers, this show just wouldn't be possible. Talk to you soon, everybody. So long.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
75 years of service and high-tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High-tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.